Hey everybody, welcome to the Dino and Joe Show. This is Dino, and that man in the Mickey Mouse hat is Joe.
Hello.
How are you?
You know, fantastic. It's a beautiful weather out in Chicago, and I had a nice little vacation, some time off, so took recharge the batteries a little bit. Feeling great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I feel like we should actually talk about the fact that we took some time off and
A little bit,
took a
a
little
little
bit
bit.
of a break as life kind of caught up with us in different
Yeah.
ways. But yeah, good to be back. And I have a little bit of a thought as
Okay.
to I have vacation coming up in a couple of weeks, and I think maybe we might do something live or at
Oh,
least from the vacation.
yes.
So we'll
I
see.
think
We'll
we
see
can
how
make
that
that
goes.
happen. We can make
Yeah,
that
I think
happen.
so. Yeah, yeah. I think we can figure something out. What were you gonna
Well,
say?
Well, I was gonna say, to our diehard fans out there,
Yes.
don't worry, we did not quit, we did not break up. We're
The band is
still
still together.
ready and raring to go with this wonderful podcast, video thing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the whole work thing just kind of got crazy, and
A little bit, a
yeah,
little bit.
and that just continues on. But I have something because, as everybody knows, uh, and I have to say, I got this new light, and it's bright.
It's different with the light, right? Like
Whoa.
I'm like,
Um,
oh,
but I have this mission to prove just how much of a 65-year-old man you are
okay,
inside a 30-something-year-old body.
that's
And I want to do it this way because I was thinking about this. The world of social media
mhm.
has all kinds of variants, right? You have your crafty people on Pinterest, right?
Yes,
And you have your social people that want to know everything going on with everybody on Facebook.
sure.
Although we don't know that because we still don't have a Facebook page after months, which you've never fixed. Um,
It's
you
true, I
know,
didn't.
and then you have this world that, well, you have, people who want to put their opinion out there in 64 characters or 160 or whatever it is now in,
Yeah,
in, in, in things like Twitter. But there's this world that lives. Oh, you know what I'm going to say?
I
You look like
don't.
you know
What?
what I'm going to
I
say.
don't know what you're gonna say, but I'm waiting. I'm
That
just.
lives on TikTok.
Oh yes,
And I cannot figure it out
yeah,
because I mean, I'm TikTok came along and I really kind of ignored it until we started doing this thing, and then TikTok
sure,
became a part of what we do.
sure.
And so I use our TikTok account
Hmm.
to see whatever it is, and we get the most random stuff, right?
It's
Because
true.
we don't really follow anybody, and we don't really have anybody that that we're constantly viewing. So we get everything, right?
We
We
really
get
do.
every half naked girl dancing to whatever, right? We get just random videos but just random stuff, right?
Crazy stuff.
I there was actually a new-ish country artist that I landed on simply because it came across in our TikTok feed. And oh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's got a couple new songs, and it's like him and his daughter dancing to his songs, right, and stuff. And actually,
Okay.
it entertained me for a little bit. But but then I remembered something about a conversation you and I had about TikTok
Oh,
that we did not talk
why do I
about
do this to myself?
during the show.
Okay,
And
what is that?
so like this is kind of the stuff that I'm going through, right? I
Mhm.
was watching a DJ competition last night at one
Yeah.
point. I was watching this country artist guy, some the Walker Hayes, Hayes Walker, Walker Hayes, something like that.
That sounds
Um,
somewhat familiar.
and then I was just flipping through random stuff, right? Uh, and I've also figured out we need to make you some kind of half naked costume dancing around to get us some views. But then I
It'll
realized,
get
like,
it there.
what do you go to on TikTok?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I pulled it up. That's what I was doing. If you saw my eyes darting, I
Yes.
went down to my phone and
Yeah.
I was looking,
Yeah.
and it's an odd smattering of things, really,
Yes.
but primarily,
Right.
I really love it for one specific thing.
And that
So,
is.
it has to do with like spreadsheets and things like that. They show some of the
Yes.
best like quick tips you'll ever see. A guy named Mike Tholfsen.
Uh-huh.
who makes these fantastic Word, Excel, PowerPoint, like all these great demo things and
Right.
spreadsheets. And there's other ones like, hold on, I'm trying to find one right now. I think it's called Spreadsheet. Wait here, who am I
So I
following? Here
just
we
want to
go.
clarify. And I absolutely not want to hear this, by the way, but
Yeah,
you go on
yeah,
to TikTok,
yeah.
the world of 1 minute entertainment,
Hmm.
where I find like really cool mashups that people do.
Yeah,
I find like, interesting like parts of people's lifestyles who are trying to be country music stars or,
sure.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I landed on a new band called the Jacks the
Okay.
other night because they have some really funny songs about villains from different movies that made me laugh.
Okay.
You, you go on it to get tips on how to better use Excel.
Well, like for instance, right here, this is somebody I follow. It's called Excel for the Win. That's a true. See, you can even tell because there's a little
That's
person with a check mark.
yeah.
And I did that.
Oh.
What else? Who else is on here that I think is fantastic?
So you try and figure out better ways to use Microsoft Office
I
through
do.
TikTok.
Heck yeah, man. Like, here's the thing. I use it every day, so it's important to me to know how to be able to use it to its fullest effect. Oh, the other big thing I do is, and this is a
Yes.
problem, you can ask my girlfriend this.
Yeah.
Um, I do like the thrifty shopper from Amazon, like because they always have cool gadgets. You know me and gadgets.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whether it's for the kitchen or like a
Right.
pocket knife or like a bug sucker, because I hate spiders. We got a bug sucker that way. Um, so that's the other thing that I do. Here, look, Excel, your friend. That's another
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Your
Like
Excel
this
friend.
is, but this is some good stuff. I'm telling you. Like it's, I don't know. Yeah. And I mean, there's a couple of other things. Like there's a guy, Zachary Burabell, who does a lot of travel stuff.
Yeah.
Um, what else? And, just some of the funny people that I know on there. Oh, this one is probably my favorite, though, because this guy actually has merch. It's called Spreadsheet Nation. I want one of his shirts because
He has merch.
it has pound
We don't
sign.
even have merch.
He's got a shirt that says pound sign REF exclamation point, which is infamous. Like if you're putting in a formula and
Uh-huh.
like something doesn't add up, it
Yo, wow.
says it says pound REF exclamation. I think that's hilarious. That's
You are
fantastic.
literally nerding out right now.
That's true.
So when you think about it, you sit down and you think to yourself, man, I really want to be entertained. I
Yeah.
really just want to go on
Yeah.
some mindless entertainment. I'm going to load up TikTok
Yeah.
and I'm going to find out about Excel spreadsheets.
So to be fair, like I get all of the other stuff too. Don't get me wrong.
No, no, you don't.
No, I get some of it, but I just don't follow it. I don't like it. I don't do that. So it doesn't show up as often. And it's primarily.
But you have gone out and searched out
Mhm.
how to use
No,
Microsoft Office
well, not the first
and
time.
you follow those.
Not the
You
first
don't
time. So
follow just
it
great entertainment
it
pieces.
came up. And then I was like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
yeah.
this is fun.
It has
Follow."
never come up for me. I
Wha-
have never seen that come up on our feed, not once, not
Then
ever.
you need to live your life a little bit more on the edge. I don't know what to tell you. It's
I
I'm
mean, I'm
sorry.
scrolling through and I have yet to ever see something about an Excel spreadsheet.
It clearly their algorithm clearly knows me.
Clearly, you are
I
a
don't know.
65-year-old man.
I mean.
Meanwhile, I'm flipping through going, and some girl's doing this thing. Going, what is
I
that
mean, you
and
could turn on the
why?
TV and see that. I can't turn on the
No,
TV and learn about Excel
no, no, there's a reason why you can't.
because it is a
Because
very
you'd be
well
the
kept
only
secret.
one watching. I'm surprised this guy hasn't like given you some merch
I'm
simply
kind of
because
disappointed.
it makes
But
it
hold
go
on,
on.
wait. Here's the
Yeah,
thing I want to
I want to know
see.
how many followers does he have? That's
So
what I really want.
Spreadsheet Nation,
Yeah.
178,700. So
Holy
like
cow.
that's so many. Hold on. I want to see what the other ones did too. Where is it? Excel your friend,
78,000.
2.5 million
I don't get it.
followers,
I don't get it. No one.
8.8 million likes. And then
We're
hold
doing the
on.
wrong show.
If
We
we
are
just did
absolutely on
training
the.
videos for stuff, we could do so much more. And
We work with this every day, and we are
wait,
absolutely not doing the right show.
Excel for the Win has 300,000 followers and 970 or 976,000 likes. So I mean, wait, I'm gonna do this then. Hold on.
We have the
Not to
wrong formula on a show about nothing. That wasn't the right one. We
okay.
needed to go with the show about Excel
So to compared to
and
the
how to use sum.
so compared to the 2 point however many million followers, we have a pretty impressive 12.
Right.
12 people.
12
Like
people.
that's incredible. And we're following 5. So hey, right back at you, everybody who's following us. And
Five people we
220,
know.
yeah, whatever, that's fine.
Who
And
knows?
227 likes. That's a good, considering we are
Well,
two random dudes talking
hold
about
on.
whatever. I think that's pretty
Right.
good.
Go to our first ever video.
Okay.
Do you remember how many views it had? It was like 2,000. And we were like,
2,533. Clearly, the algorithm picked it up for us. Like it
right,
was like, let's give
right.
these schlubs a chance. Let's see
And
if
that
they
was the
have it.
only one. And
Yeah,
then
that's
everything
the.
else is like 120.
Well, we've almost broken 200 a few other times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Oh, it
see.
just makes me laugh.
I mean, we've gotten up there. There's only been a few that are only double digits.
All
Most,
right.
oh, nope. There's one that's 3. So, yeah,
What
they
is your
did.
other go-to? That's the one that I think I mentioned bomb and people like freaked out. Um, what's your
Oh,
other
maybe.
what's else is your go-to on TikTok besides spreadsheets?
I mean, I'm trying to
Is
think
there
what else there
gardening
is.
on there? Are you doing any gardening?
Oh.
Yes.
Here. Okay,
Model
so this is
trains?
no. It is people who go to like not thrift stores, but they go to garage sales, estate sales, find stuff that's
Uh-huh.
cool and sell it on eBay for a big profit.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
love that. He's called the thrifter sifter, I believe. Hey, if any of these people are listening, please like us. Like we're giving you a lot of
We're giving people way,
we're
way
giving
too
you
much.
12 people that are going to be
Right.
interested.
That's right.
Um, where
Oh,
is it? Yeah, the thrifter sifter. Where did it go? But yes, that it's very exciting. Here he is.
I don't know that that's exciting.
I think it's very exciting because this guy is
Wait,
like
wait,
going.
wait, wait. It did not
Oh,
focus.
I'm so
Hold on
sorry.
again. There we go. Yep. Look at the beard.
Yeah. I mean,
He's got the
he
beard
goes and
going.
like he's the guy who made me look at all of my Pyrex and be like, is this worth $400 or something?
$400 for Pyrex?
Like the old like 60s stuff is like it's maybe not $400, but you can get like 150, $200 for it.
Really?
Yep. It's like no joke. He just shows weird stuff. He found
So
a
wait a minute. So wait. You go on TikTok
yeah.
and you look at spreadsheets,
Yeah.
and then you look at people who go to garage sales
Yeah.
and resell that product to make money.
Yes.
Do you go to garage sales?
I don't, but this is making me think I should. Hold on, wait. I want to show you this video. This is what
Uh-huh.
he does. He finds things like this.
Uh-huh.
He puts a black light in it, and
Yep.
it is bioluminescent. Well, it's actually not
Oh,
it's just glowing, but
yeah.
still, it's like that's cool. That's $20 to $30 a piece.
Whoa. You are such a 65.
Hey, I like what I like.
Garage sailing
Eh.
and office apps.
It's a good time, I'll tell you. What I'm telling you, if you just go through TikTok, eventually
Yeah,
you're gonna hit one of them.
I've never hit anything
Give
that
it
you have
time.
ever told me about
Give
ever.
it time.
We'll be back. It's the Dino and Joe Show. Welcome back to the Dino and Joe Show. This is Dino. That is Joe.
Uh,
And I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I wore this to several Cubs games that I went to in 2015,
Yeah.
because that was supposedly the year in Back to the Future that the Cubs won the World Series. And they darn near got there, but they did, of course, get there in 2016, so that's fine. Just a year off.
I am wearing. I'm going to plug this today. This is Keep Moving Forward. This is
Okay.
from a company called the Till Valhalla Project.
Oh, okay.
and it is a company that sponsors mental health for veterans.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, I found this online, really liked it.
That's all. Is
And
there a website or something people can go to if they want to donate or volunteer or something?
yeah, the Till Valhalla project has a whole website where you can go and you can look. A couple of things they're doing. They do a really cool plaque for veterans who are deceased, and they actually are looking for volunteers to actually deliver those. A very tough job,
Yeah,
and but a very cool project that they do.
absolutely. That's fantastic.
But yeah, they really dive into the mental health of our veterans, and so a very cool site, a very cool piece of property to own. So yeah, very much a big supporter of veterans causes here, as I live in a very big military town. In fact, just took
Absolutely.
my boys to the National Museum of the Air Force,
Oh, that's cool.
which is cool because your tax dollars pay for it. It's free,
Hey, okay.
and it is it's larger than the Air and Space Museum in the Smithsonian.
Oh,
Has
really?
way more planes.
Hmm.
They've added the space wing, and they have all the presidential planes now. So you have all the Air
Ooh.
Force Ones.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. The only thing they didn't get at the time was the retired space shuttle, and that made them very mad here.
I
Uh,
believe it.
they got the space shuttle trainer,
Okay.
and so it's what they used to train to fly the
Yeah,
space shuttle, but
sure.
they did not get an actual space shuttle here, and that was a very big source of contention.
I believe it.
But where I live, Dayton, Ohio, is the home of the Wright brothers, and it is you can actually go see the Wright Flyer, which
That's
is
awesome.
there. But yeah, very cool piece, but very big Air Force city here in Dayton, Ohio. So
So, in a similar subject, right? The
okay,
Air Force, Marines, Army,
yep,
all wonderful, service branches of our wonderful United States of America.
yes,
The United States of America is being represented by another group of people in the near future at the Olympics,
yes,
right? Several people. And
absolutely.
I am one of these people who has absolute Olympic fever. Like
Oh, do you?
I when the
You're into
Olympics are
curling.
on,
You're into curling during the Winter Olympics, and
okay,
only during the Winter Olympics.
yes. So that's a big piece, right? When the Olympics come on,
Yeah.
in this household, there will be nothing but the Olympics on when we're watching television. The Olympics are the only thing that will be happening for that, however long it is, 2 week period. And
And they're
doesn't matter
13
what it
hours
is.
ahead,
Yeah, well,
right? Because in
yeah, something like
Tokyo,
that.
so
In
they're like
Tokyo,
13
so it's
hours ahead,
way
right?
ahead.
So
That's fine.
yeah, crazy.
So I was talking with my girlfriend about this, and she loves the women's gymnastics and all that kind
Mhm.
of stuff, and
Sure.
it's funny because it makes me think of how I go from 0 to 10, much to your point, right? Whether it's the Winter Olympics, Summer Olympics, curling. I enjoy curling. I think it's cool. I don't know if I could ever do it. I don't know if I have the understanding of what I need to scrub fast enough to get it done, but I become the biggest critic of
Oh yeah.
every sport. Whether it's
Yes.
swimming, I'm like, yeah, why don't you splash up more water there? She's not gonna. No, she thinks she's gonna place a medal. Get
You
out of my
mean
face.
diving? You mean
Yes.
dive? Yeah,
What did
you
I
said
say?
swimming,
Oh,
which
swimming,
is
diving,
completely
whatever.
different.
It's not fully in Olympic season yet, so I don't have it all
So
together.
you're not there. You're not in the right mental
I'm not in the right
headspace.
mindset yet.
Yeah.
The floor exercise. I'm like, what? That toe was clearly over the line. So it's one of those things where I get so like judgy sitting on my couch eating chips. I'm like, yeah, these professionally trained athletes who are finely tuned machines, I think I could do better than them. And then, I got the chips falling down my chest. So, but the Olympics
Um,
are a big time for me. It's also a time every year where I go from working out regularly to working out way more because I'm like, it's the Olympics. It's the Olympics. Come on. Come on. What are we doing?
so with every Olympics, there are games that are introduced by the home country for that
Oh,
Olympics.
I
So
don't know if I knew that.
yeah, so every Olympics they allow the home country to bring in sports, and there's sports that represent the country, right? So I think
Okay.
we've done windsurfing and stuff like that. That's not traditionally and doesn't mean
Right.
it would get held as an Olympic sport. It's just an
It's
Olympic
just
sport
that
for that
year.
year,
Okay.
and then the Olympic Committee can keep it. And some sports have come and gone, and
Sure.
there's one that's a huge one in Japan that should be no surprise that they're bringing back this year, which is baseball and softball.
Okay.
But there's other sports that they're actually bringing in. I don't know if you know this or not, and this would make complete sense. Karate will
Oh
be
yeah.
a Olympic sport this year,
Of course.
which traditionally it's not. It's been judo,
Hmm.
and I think taekwondo for a while, but I'm not sure that that's in the Olympics anymore or not. Skateboarding has been brought back to the Olympics.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's making its Olympic debut. I thought we did it with California, but I guess not.
I thought so too.
So there's two events, park and street. I have no idea what that means. Sport climbing will also be brought into the Olympics, which is climbing the rock wall.
Sure.
I guess it's speed climbing and bouldering and lead climbing. Again, I don't climb. I have no idea what that means. And then also surfing will make its Olympic debut.
That's cool. That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, every year they bring in different sports, which the only thing that makes me mad is like the sports I want to watch, they always
Mhm.
replace with the sports they bring in. And
Of
sometimes I'm
course.
like, I really don't want to watch
What the
that. I
hell?
want to watch
Right.
basketball. And you
Right.
brought in, windsurfing, and then you focus windsurfing because it's the new sport. And I know I
I
know
don't.
nothing about
Right.
windsurfing. But to your point, by the third person going, I'll be like, oh, I can't believe that they
Right.
did not do what they were supposed to do. And my favorite is when they bring in the announcers for these sports
Of
that,
course.
like you've never heard, and then suddenly you're just absolutely there, an expert, and you're agreeing
Yep.
with them.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Right. Right. Like it's one of those things where I will also get on the judges where if it's somebody I really like, and I'm like, what
Yep.
kind of score is that? What is that? You took off 2/10 of a point because she didn't land her arm right. Get out of
Right.
my face.
The Russian judge hates us.
Right. It's like, what is going on? And I remember so many years that there have been, all these different controversies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where there's a judge being bought, or what was the
Oh,
big one
sure,
with
sure.
Nancy Kerrigan? That was for the Olympics, wasn't it? Or was it for
Nancy
the like the
Kerrigan, yeah, where
that
she got railed with the iron bar across the knee.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like there's always something going on, and it's like, man, I don't want to
Jeff
see that.
Galooly, was that the guy? Jeff something
Oh, I couldn't
Galooly?
even I just know it was Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. I don't know the guy's
Yeah.
name.
I just remember her screaming, "Why?
Yeah.
Why?"
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
why? That's
Yeah.
just
America's
people are
sweetheart, Nancy
greedy,
Kerrigan. Well, I
man.
mean,
Yeah, she is
look,
awesome.
when you're a certain level of athlete, and you're
Mhm.
also in a sport that isn't necessarily a sport that continues, right? Once the Olympics are done for figure skating, that's it. You're at the top of your game if you win the gold medal, and then you tour. But
Mhm.
and I'm not saying they don't make a lot of money or whatever, but there's as an athlete, you want to compete, and
Yeah, of
then
course.
you're done, right? Once the
Right.
Olympics are done, and you've gotten through your career, and how many Olympics can you really go to?
Right.
Then so somebody like a Tanya Harding, by
Excuse
winning,
me.
if Nancy Kerrigan wasn't there, she could have gone on to make much much
Right.
more money.
Right.
Instead, it turned into what it turned into, which was just this craziness. But yeah, I'd say there's two world events that are like that in our house. One would be the Olympics for sure. Like we're going to watch as much of the Olympics as we possibly can, and the other thing would be the World Cup.
World Cup. Yep, I knew it. I knew
Those two
you're a
things
big
for
soccer
me.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Euros just ended today, and that
Oh,
was
right.
like, ooh, yeah, absolutely. I was all about that. we we
Who was in the final?
England and Italy.
Who won?
Italy won on penalty kicks after extra time.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
some interesting decisions made by the coaching staff of England to
Hmm.
put in very young players at the very end of the game that you assume are being put in as penalty takers and then all miss their penalties.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean,
ouch.
hey,
But the Italians look very good, and quite honestly, they played very very well and probably should have won that game. So,
the
um,
World Cup is
yes,
another time where, again, in this household, I don't care if it is like Iceland versus Botswana. I want to watch the game. I
oh
don't care if it's
oh
the
yeah,
high level
yep,
Italy, England, or if
yep,
it's the more, like two countries that only people from those countries really care about.
sure.
I love watching it because it's fun. Like it's one time when the whole world gets together, puts all crap aside, and just says, "Let's play some fun soccer."
Right. Well, sports nationalism too is just it's tribal, right? And
Right.
so it's easy to get up and get excited about the teams that you care about. And
Absolutely.
what I think is interesting in the US, which is different than I think in other countries, like if you're from Scotland, you root for Scotland.
Right.
You're not going to root for England,
Hmm.
probably, right?
Right.
Maybe if you get knocked out, you'll watch it, but you're not rooting for it. But because in the United States, we are so many different nationalities, right? My wife is Hungarian, and so the kids were watching Hungary and really wanted to see them do well because they understood that that's where part of mommy's family comes from,
Right.
right? I'm Irish and Scottish and English. And so like all three of those teams were big, right? And you get into these teams, I think, differently in the US, again, because let's be honest, US soccer has not been the best soccer, right? It's getting better,
Right.
but we didn't qualify for the World Cup 4 years ago. So, we have to pick other teams to root for at times.
Right.
But I think that that makes it cool for us, right? Because you get behind, different teams and you can see how they go. And I think that has a lot of entertainment value. Whereas I think in other countries, they just get behind their country. Totally understand if you're from
Which makes
Argentina,
sense, of
you're going to
course.
root for Argentina. You're not rooting for
Right.
Brazil.
Right. Right.
It's not going to
Right.
happen.
Right.
But I think the Olympics are the same thing, right? We have athletes that are world-class athletes that we
Mhm.
expect to win, but we also have the ability to root for people from other countries
Right.
because again, like we are that melting pot of nationalities and
It's true.
cultures and so other than our fierce rivals like in the world of soccer, like Mexico would be a big
Mhm.
rival. So maybe not somebody you would get behind. But there's a lot of Mexican Americans who root for both teams.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool. But culturally, yeah, I think the Olympics is one of those pieces of every what 2 years now because it's
Yes, basically.
that
Winter and
you can
summer.
get behind somebody like a Michael Phelps who you know 8 years ago you had really no idea who he was,
Mhm.
and now he's a household name, right? And uh and it used to be, oh well, they're going to be on a Wheaties box.
Right. Right.
Remember that was the big
I
deal.
remember.
Yeah, like
I
oh
bought
man,
Wheaties just because of the cool people who were on the boxes.
Bruce Jenner, I remember when he
Mhm.
was on a Wheaties box, right?
Mhm.
Or Mary Lou Retton. I remember
Mhm.
when she was on a Wheaties box,
Team
right?
USA, the dream team. That was the one
Absolutely.
that I definitely got.
Yeah, what was it like being in Chicago with Jordan on the dream team? I
I
have to
mean,
imagine that was a big deal.
of course it was. Like, so basically 1994 through like 98. It was just kind of a basketball town. The Cubs sucked. The Sox kind of sucked. We
The
didn't have the
Bears weren't
Chicago
very
Fire.
good.
The Bears were, I mean, the Bears are never really that good, except,
Yeah.
86 or 85.
The
And
Blackhawks.
the Blackhawks were, I mean, nobody, unless you went to the game in United Center, you
Yeah.
didn't watch it on TV because the owner at the time would not allow it to be broadcast on television.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Hot
Was it
garbage.
was it true? I heard a story once that Blackhawks fans used to say that they went to the games because they knew there would be fights in the stands.
That might I don't I was never a Blackhawks fan, still not to this day. I couldn't tell you. I
Okay.
could ask Tiff later, but I couldn't
I
tell
heard
you.
that story. I don't know if it's ever true. I don't know if that's a piece of lore that has carried on or if
It
that's a
might be.
reality of like it used to be just like a free for all.
I can tell you that a lot of Cubs fans who sit in the bleachers just go there to get drunk and it happens to be a
Well,
baseball game going on.
yeah, well,
That's
yeah, I
just
mean, the Cubs became like it really became a event
Mhm.
that you expected them to lose. And like losing was part of their charm, right? Like
You don't even expect them to lose. It's just like I said, it's a baseball game that happens to be going on. Maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose. Like I absolutely to this day still love going to Cubs games. It's one of my favorite things. I enjoy the bleachers. I enjoy sitting anywhere in Wrigley Field. Like it's a lot of fun.
right.
And if you ever come to Chicago, get a chance to do the Wrigley Field tour,
Yeah,
worth it. It's totally cool to go through it. But yeah, it's one of those things where you just go. You want to see who's singing the seventh inning stretch. A
sure.
couple days ago it was I think Eddie Olczyk, who was
Yeah.
a an old Blackhawk and a current
Yeah.
sportscaster in
I
Chicago. So
remember
it's
him, yeah.
yeah, Eddie O.
And by the way, one of the most underrated things to do for a sports team is to tour their stadium.
I don't know why.
People don't do it or take advantage of it like they should,
Yeah.
because I will tell you that we've been on different stadium tours, right? I've been with Boston Red Sox. We did the Anfield tour in Liverpool.
Hmm.
They take you into the locker
That's
room,
so
like you get to
cool.
go right to the field. Now
Right.
in the Premier League, you can't step on the field, and they warn you right away, like you step
Yeah.
on the field, you're out, right? Like it's a big deal. But you get to see all those parts. Like I don't think people understand that piece that actually exists, and it's actually fairly reasonably priced.
Hmm.
I tried to take my youngest on a Cincinnati Reds tour over the week that I was down in Cincinnati for the entire week, and they don't do tours on game day, but we went to the Hall of Fame, and
Hmm.
that was amazing. Like the Reds Hall of Fame
Yeah.
is pretty cool. I got a hat. Uh, But it is an underrated piece of sports that I
It
think
is.
people don't realize, that you can go tour the stadium and actually get a really cool, like, behind the scenes look at a team and what happens. I think stadiums are cool. I love those tours.
They are. I want to ask you this. Why
Mhm.
are all professional soccer teams so particular about the field and the grass? All.
Well,
I don't care if it's in the US. I don't care if it's in
yeah,
England. I don't care if it's in any other country. They are so strict about it.
it is the most important piece of the game, right? The field can determine an outcome. If you play on a bad field, you get bad hops. Like,
It
those things are, at a professional level, at a very high professional level, a field is absolutely amazing. To have the chance to walk on it, you'll automatically feel the difference. I know that the groundskeeper, when we were at Liverpool, was sitting on a bucket, and he had a string stretched across the field, and he was cutting blades of grass to the height of the string. I am not kidding. It was
okay.
unbelievable. But that is their livelihood.
Yeah.
That field has to last. They don't
Mhm.
change that field. They don't resod that field. Not like you would see at a baseball stadium or a football stadium where the field turf comes up and they have to replace it. Like, it is a really big piece of pride in how it's maintained, and it's highly maintained. They are
S-
incredible.
So I remember I have a couple stories where I've been able to, I officiate and I was able to do it on some pretty high levels at some pretty high level places like Soldier
Mhm.
Field in Chicago. I mean, that's, it's a grass field.
Yep.
That's incredible to do that in there. The Big House in Michigan, the
Yeah.
Horseshoe at Ohio State, like they're all
Yeah.
fantastic. But the one that took my breath away with how amazing it looked and felt to walk on, but also how serious the groundskeeper kept it was the Chicago Fire Stadium
Yeah.
for soccer here.
Yeah.
So there were three things going on, right? Uh, the first day, which was the day I was officiating the state championship for lacrosse at the Fire Stadium,
Yep.
they said, okay, your game is at 11 o'clock. Warm up starts at 9:30.
Mhm.
If it says 9:29 and 59 seconds, do not step on my field. At
Yes.
9:30 exactly, you may step on the field. Don't kick, don't divot, don't do anything like blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm trying not to do anything. I just want to run the game and just do what I got to do.
Right.
So it wasn't that big of a deal. The next day, they had a rugby match there that I had tickets to. And in rugby, to notate a spot of a foul, the referee kicks out like create a divot
Yes.
in the grass. And I
Right.
looked, oh, I saw where the groundskeeper was, and like pulling hair out of just like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, at least I didn't do that.
Yeah, at
So,
least you
but
weren't that guy.
yeah, exactly, right? Like that's not, but he wasn't trying to do anything malicious. That's just
Yeah,
part
that's
of the
how they do
game.
it.
Like that's
Right.
how they officiate the game. So it's one of those things where I wanted to ask you if that was in fact true everywhere you've ever seen, because and you're
Yes.
right, it's like any type of coach, right? They get paid to win.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with the groundskeeper. They get paid to keep the best field out there. Like if there's
absolutely.
something that's not right, why do we have you here? We could find somebody else who can do the same job, probably is better for cheaper. So
And I believe that every soccer field I've been on, I believe is at a professional level is the best field I've ever seen. It's amazing how well they're kept. But the ball has to roll true, and
it's
if you
true.
kick the ball and it doesn't go straight,
That's some
then
problems. Couple of problems.
yeah, exactly. And then the cool thing is when the team that doesn't wants to try to slow down the other team won't water the field. I saw a professional match where they watered the half of the field their team was going to be playing on.
Hey,
Like,
okay. I mean,
wow. Yep. It's all about that advantage.
it is.
It's the Dino and Joe Show.